how to start any business and succeed. I'm Noelle Randall, real estate millionaire, entrepreneur, mentor, and mom of 5. And on today's interview style episode, I'm going to be introducing you to Rebecca Hall of 𝗏𝗏 Inc. She is a very successful business coach that has helped thousands of business owners transform and scale their business. In this episode, Rebecca is going to share with us exactly how she has transformed so many businesses with some excellent and secret tips. Let's go.
Noelle. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, all you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
Well, welcome, Rebecca Hall, 𝗏𝗏 Incorporated. I am so excited to talk with you today about business, about entrepreneurs, and we're going to even touch in on some women's stuff just because we have to. My audience has been asking about it, but we're going to be talking about how any entrepreneur can be successful. And I want to first start off and ask you, tell us everyone, Rebecca, how is that? Let's just get right into it. How could any business be successful? Give us some tips or tools on that.
There's a lot of business coaching out there and a lot of business books and a lot of business rules. And we all try to emulate like the next Facebook or the next, Microsoft or whatever, right? The next Denny's even in food. And the truth is I get interviewed all the time because I've coached about 2,800 or so businesses. And it's like, well, I should know, right? I should know the secret success to a successful business, the secret formula, if you will, to a successful business. And it's true that you need some basic things like marketing, sales, finance, customer fulfillment funnel, operations. But what I say that holds all those bricks together is the mortar. And you are the mortar. And some people freak out when I say that because they don't want that kind of pressure. We live in a world of judgment and all of that. But if you're truly an entrepreneur, that will actually light you up because you actually get to create the business that you want, how successful that is. You just need to show up. So it's consistency, it's learning how to track and just like being in the business and being authentic. I think that's what people like today. And if you look at anyone that's really broken those business barriers, whether they're a minority or a woman or whatever, they really blazed a trail of their own and they just got really smart and got really focused. But more than anything, their belief was through the roof. They actually didn't even consider for a minute that they wouldn't succeed. And I think that's one of the big key elements to having a successful business.
Oh my gosh, Rebecca, you said something so powerful there and you nailed it. I can see why you've been able to help so many business owners. So let's get into that because you said you've helped, and I know for a fact that you've helped so many business owners. So let's keep going with that. So tell us how you take people through some of those journeys, some of the people that you've helped. Let's really dive into that.
I would love to say that I've been to like tons of colleges and have all kinds of certifications and all that. And I've done a lot of work. I think the first thing is I invested in myself. I've invested 6 figures in learning, in working the things that I'm not good at. Also, just being able to see like the big picture. That is what I'm known for, is the strategist, the one that's able to see down the road and say, look, here's all the things we need to put together. Here's what we need to watch out for. And yet at the same time, allow that fluidity for the entrepreneur to discover what their success story is, what their formula is. And we're just keeping them on the rails. So it really is focusing on what I call the 5 pillars of business, which is marketing, sales, finance, customer service / fulfillment, and operations. And then it's just really drilling down into each one of those and automating and systematizing them so that you can actually grow and scale. And that's the other key too. You got to be prepared to grow, not just the business, but also yourself, because they kind of work tandem. You don't just have a business life and a personal life, you have a life. And when you get cool with that and transparency occurs, now you're really being related to the people that you're trying to sell to.
Oh my gosh. Now you're like a woman of my heart. So let's go there. Let's really go there for a second. So of course we have the 5 pillars and everyone kind of knows about, they basically have this idea that they want to have a business, but most people really have no idea how to grow a business. And of course, like you said, the entrepreneur and you yourself is a part of the business. But let's just give an example of some of the type of businesses that you helped and some of the tangible things that you really helped them do. Because some people, they really need that. And you're so smart. I don't even think you know how much you said. So let's break that down a little bit more.
I'll back into it, like, because I love to reverse engineer it. And the one reason, or probably one of the biggest reasons that businesses fail is because we get in love and attached to the thing that we do. Like that really is our value. And the truth is that's not actually like being the best pie maker ever is not what makes you a successful business. It's not guaranteed. It's actually being in love with the business process, which guess what means a lot of boring things like revenue modeling, tracking, learning how to like delegate and not have, if you think, oh, I'm the magic in the business, that's why it works, we're already in trouble. Right?
True story.
So
Oh
it's
my
some
gosh.
of those key things right there. It's not so much the business. When you ask like what kind of businesses have I worked with, like a lot of them. Some of them I couldn't say here on film, right? But service business, product businesses, because it's not about like what you're selling or what you're offering. It's all of what's around that. It's the context and the structure of how do you make that thing work in business? And if you really look at it, there are some universal laws of business. Tracking's one of them. Leadership is one of them. Being able to identify a problem and create a solution or to meet a need. That is why people buy. We don't actually make any decisions on money unless you solve my problem or you meet my need. And too many times business owners get into, here's why I'm so great. Here's why you need my thing or why you should do it. And I'm not related to that. I'm related to what my problem or my need is. And that's where I'm going to pull out my wallet. And that's how we make decisions. So just getting clear about that is great.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Rebecca. Please, 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 let's touch on that because like you said, two powerful things there. It does not matter if you're selling a product or a service. I know well, as a fact, have several businesses. Some of them are product-based businesses. Some of them are service-based business, and you can make money either way. So tell us, Rebecca, how the true way that entrepreneurs really make money. We know that it is solving problems. So how does an entrepreneur make a ton of money figuring out how to solve someone's problem? Because you and I know that that's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really easy to point out what the problems are or what we think people need. The magic is how do you get related to that person? If you're a fitness instructor or you're in the health and wellness and you see someone that's overweight, like not super relatable or helpful to go up to them and say, hey, you're fat. Like, do you want to change that? You're going to get the wall. So like really focusing on the symptoms of that and getting related. Like, do you have the life that you want? Or, do you have a dream to run a 5K or to be able to do things with your kids or maybe get off some medication or you don't like taking the medication? We just miss that connection because we're pushing, muscling what we think everyone wants or why we're valuable. So and, true. As a coach, I don't know. I would debate, like, what does value mean? That's different for everybody. But what I know I can do is transform you and get results in your business. It's not magic. It's just that relatedness and being a business owner myself for so many years. I mean, my wife and I, we've owned several businesses. We've sold them for millions. We got really crazy and started two of them right in the middle of the pandemic to address regression in education and change how we do education now on the planet because we're out of the industrial age. Newsflash, we're in the technology age. Our education system needs to change. That's a passion business. And I also have the coaching business and other things. But it's really identifying that problem, saying, how do we get related? And that's where you've got to be thinking in your language so that your prospect actually buys from you. It's much easier to get people to buy from you than it is to try and sell to them.
Whoa, this is an amazing point that Rebecca Hall just made. In order for you to be successful in any business, you need to be solving a problem. Like I said, when I started investing in real estate, I started with bad credit, multiple foreclosures, and I was an absolute disaster. I had no money and no credit to do it with. So I had to be a person that solved people's problems in order for me to get deals. I had to be someone that was gonna help them in foreclosure or help them with their bankruptcy or help them, from being relocated and take that house off of their hands. I had to solve a problem. So as a business owner, if you are solving a problem with your product or your service, then you will be successful, and that's how you bring value and make money. Now back to this episode. Okay, Rebecca, you said something amazing there, like absolutely amazing. Because in 2020, I actually started a couple of businesses myself, and people thought that was a little bit crazy because I have businesses, and then they were like, just like you said, there was a need because it created a problem that I was just like, man, there's an opportunity here. So let's talk about, the entrepreneur that doesn't have a business and they're looking for some opportunities. We know, let's talk about that. How do you start to find these opportunities that exist and create a business around it where you can make a lot of money and be successful?
I think the recession was like one of the best, like, what do you want to call it? A petri dish? Because before that, our economy was doing really well. You could come up with any business and there was credit everywhere and everyone was buying and it was awesome. And then the recession hit. And what it forced us to do is get really clear about what we do and get our customer or our prospect really clear about what we do for them, like how it benefits them. So, the first place we start is just, what am I good at? What am I passionate about? And who am I related to? It's so important. If you look at who your buyers are, they're either who you used to be, who you are currently, or who you're on your way to being, depending on your product or your service. And so getting related to that is going to be super important. And then just like break it down. Too many times I think too is like, we got to do all the fanfare. We got to like move the Titanic like yesterday. We really got to build ourselves up. And I don't know any business, other than like maybe if you're play the lottery and like one day you have nothing and the next day you've got 300 million, but most of us have to build bit by bit by bit. And business is really just a dialing in process.
Right.
So, you can work and have $0 in your bank account, and not very often you wake up and there's 90,000. But you're building it slow. And so then we kind of forget the dialing in process and like the check-in process and like what's happening. How do I iterate on this? It really is an evolution from a key idea or identifying a key problem and then evolving that and making it bigger. And to me, that is the definition of entrepreneurship.
Right.
Like you are innovating off of an idea or a problem or an issue or a solution. And that's what makes it great.
Awesome, Rebecca. You said some amazing things. And like I said, I can tell from your years of coaching, you just spew this stuff so easily. So how does one, they're newer in their business. We established, okay, they're identifying, they're solving a problem, and now they're trying to get their business organized so that they can grow it. How does one organize their business to grow it?
The awesome answer to that is it's 2021 and there are so many tools to organize your business. However, you've got to start organizing it up here. The easiest way that I've seen to translate that is to really stand in the eyes of the client and walk through what your customer journey is. And then what are the tools, resources, like what do they need to know? And then you would translate into like, well, how would I deliver that knowing, or how would I confirm, that fulfillment? So here's the thing, if you let me go long enough, I'll metaphor you to death. So stop me if you like, I'm sick with the metaphor.
I am the metaphor analogy queen. And literally, I was just talking to my team. I'll give you an example. I was talking to my team and we have like two different, divisions. And I always compare ourselves to Toyota and Lexus. That's the Toyota, we're the Lexus, and Toyota Financial. I'll use all these different analogies with other businesses. So I love that. I love that about you, Rebecca. I love how you talk. We're definitely on the same page there. Okay.
Yeah. So here's an easy one on organization, right? So you want to make a cake and I'm just like, here you go. Here's all the ingredients you need to make a cake. You got it. Go for it. There's a lot of things missing there. We don't break it down enough. We just assume that this is what we're good at or what we talk about every day, that people should be able to follow us. So systems or developing that customer journey or what that looks like is the key to creating processes so that you can actually organize the business, right? Think about a kitchen or anything. There's so many things that are, again, metaphors or practices for business. We think we're not good at business, and really just kind of got to look around in our life and be like, well, what's not working, or what needs to be organized, or how could I make something better? Whether that's your relationship or parenting or, building your dream kitchen, that is all organizing, that is all sequencing. And you really have to put pen to paper and be like, how do I want this to go? And then what are the tools and resources that I need? So every business needs to have a way to organize tasks and projects. It needs to have a CRM, a way to communicate. And there's so many tools out there to automate things, automate your social media, get a team and, put out like video. People that do their video marketing, their video or marketing posts, on the daily or like every few days, or like, oh my gosh, I need to be on social media. What am I going to put up today? Really get organized and plan your schedule out. Time blocking is a part of it. I'm a huge believer in time blocking. That's how you get everything that you want to fit in, is you actually manage your time. And so it's the same thing in organizing the tools and the resources that you have, that the business needs to be successful without driving you crazy, like you're spinning 50 plates and all you're doing is looking for the next plate to drop so you can run over and spin it.
Now that you're a business coach, so obviously you did not start off big bad entrepreneur and coaching other people. I tell people the same thing about Noelle. I did not start off this way. I was coached and I was trained, and now I'm able to do the same thing. So again, we're not selling anything. Rebecca's not selling you her coaching. Noelle is not selling you her coaching. But let's talk about business coaching and what some of the benefits are. What some of the things that you've garnered from it, your students have garnered from it. Let's kind of talk about the business coaching for a sec.
I'll just start off big by saying there's not very many successful people on this planet, especially I think what gets really relatable to people is athletes and say Hollywood actors. They all have agents. Like having someone in your court, looking at your game, identifying your blind spots, someone who actually has experience in where you're trying to go. Like, why would you not have that person on your team? I'm a huge proponent of business coaching. In fact, they say that you're 95% more likely to reach your goals when you have a coach or a mentor. So for me, that's just as important as having a staff or a marketing plan or inventory. That's what they're there for, is there to help steer you and not tell you what to do. I think sometimes people confuse a coach with a consultant, where it's like, just come do it for me. I'm not here to do it for you. You're not here to do that. We're here to create the container and facilitate you being successful in your own business. And I think that's a slight difference, and sometimes one of the most important differences, because you can't be me. So whatever lifestyle or business I want, that might actually work for you. So a good business coach will help you discover and implement and hold you accountable to what it is you're trying to create and who you're trying to be.
OMG, Rebecca Hall, say that again, because I think people don't even know what a business coach or a business mentor is for. Tell everyone again. We're going to say that one more time, because that was super perfect, and you got to elaborate on it. What is a business coach or mentor going to help you do? Like, tell them, because they need to know, because I've been a coach and I've been coached, and I can say from my experience, I'm 100% successful when I have a business coach. So not 95. So I'm 100% successful because I've had a business coach. So seriously, go into that just for a second, like how you work with people, kind of what that looks like, so people can have an understanding of what that relationship looks like and how it does really benefit a person.
A coach is a partner. A coach is not going to pull you across the finish line. And that's the number one thing that when I've worked with clients, I'm like, look, I'm not here to pull. If I want it more than you are, that you do, this isn't going to happen. I will incentivize you. I'll hold carrots over it. Like, I'll draw a little diagram. We'll run some plays. And for some people, I need to kick your ass over the line. And if you want that, I can do that. But I can't do it for you. I'm here to facilitate discovery, implementation, accountability. That's what a coach does.
Yes.
And if you look at any other profession that has a coach, like sports, the coach isn't out there like running the football.
Correct. Bill Belichick is not running any plays. Phil Jackson is not running any plays. And that's what I tell them. I said, I have all these years of experience and I can give you the play, but you have to run the play. I can't write the play, run the play, coach the team, hire the players. Somebody has to play.
But that's what makes the relationship so special, Noelle. And I know that as a coach, you've seen this as well. Like, the greatest gift I get as a coach is helping someone discover what their magic formula is. And then they're reporting like crazy numbers and growth and impact. And that's what makes it so special. And I think a lot of times a coach gets, they get seen as like a rah-rah. Like, I just need to make you feel good. Well, none of us ever got rich feeling good. We got rich doing.
Right. You're right. You give encouragement. And my mentors and my coaches, and I've had some amazing coaches and mentors, some of which I've even brought on my YouTube channel. And that's the part that I absolutely love. Like, I was modeling their success. I wasn't trying to be them. And there are times when they have to be tough with you. I know my coach, she kind of got at me about just some of my ways, and I had to accept that. So it's funny. Oh gosh, we could just talk forever. I absolutely love everything you said.
A good coach will trigger you.
Yeah.
Hands down. If you're feeling triggered, and not triggered like disrespected, but
Right.
triggered
No, no, no,
like
nothing like that.
pushed.
But pushed, like, yeah, yeah. And you said this. I think that was where, like, I'm like I said, my coach took me, when I met my coach, I was making like $200,000 a year, and this person was making like $2 million. I've exceeded that in a year, and I just amazing results following this person. But she really had to get with me about, how I thought. It was really not even some of the business stuff or the organization, because I had worked in corporate America, so I feel like I had some of those things, but she had to get with me about my mind. I was just, I needed help.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. When I first kind of got into this industry, I was working at the Postal Service, teen male, as a single mom. And I remember in 2001, I made 17,000 and change. And that was the most money I'd ever made in my life, just with circumstances of being married young and being stay at home and then going into the workforce. And when I really got the right coach and the right tribe and really surrounded
Yeah.
myself and like going to that next level, the next year I made 170,000. That's weird, right? When you
Yeah.
10x like that fast, and you
Tell
don't
me
have a
about it.
support, another like that mindset piece comes in, and that's where we talk about imposter syndrome. Was I a one-hit wonder? Am I even credible? And so that's a whole other thing of itself. So even if you
Yeah.
go get all the skills, right? You get all the tools you need to be successful. Like, I know revenue modeling, I'm really good at marketing, I'm really good at price structure. The mindset piece is another way where the coach is going to help you meet where your skill set is and pull you towards that success. Because who do you need to be the CEO of a $2 million company? It's not who you
Right.
were when you were making 50 grand, in corporate or wherever else you were.
Preach, Rebecca. And that was, like I said, to summarize what I needed to work on with my coach and why I'm successful and now I'm able to mentor and coach other people, was I had to get from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset. And that took work for me. I had worked in, corporate America, like I said, in leadership positions. So I had these things that I knew how to be a manager, but I had no idea how to be an entrepreneur and not just be someone with a job and a side hustle. I needed to be, this is your only source of income. Can you make that work, sister? I had to learn that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I think we share that in common too. When I made that 170, my back was against the wall. Like
Yeah.
45 days away from being homeless against the wall. And but again, the beauty and the resilience of being the human. And I think that's what a lot of entrepreneurs have in common. I think that's what attracts us to entrepreneurs, is that hard story. And it's not to
Yeah.
brag about where we came from, because that's not what made us successful. It's the consistency, it's keeping the momentum, it's being willing to be vulnerable, it's being willing to be coached, ask for help, and almost like exposing, like, what we do fear sometimes corporate. And I'm not knocking anyone that's in corporate. I skipped corporate and then ended up coming back to it, and then was like, thank you, Jesus, for me not taking that hard road to success. It's very hard to navigate success in corporate America. In my opinion, much easier as an entrepreneur, because I call my own shots and make my own rules. However, with that comes great responsibility and staying focused and committed and being willing to go the extra mile a lot.
Yeah.
And that's where kind of the grit comes in and the guts. But man, the rewards are amazing. And when you get to choose your life and choose your friends and have that freedom, I mean, that is why people want to become entrepreneurs. So are you willing to actually have the vulnerability and get the help and ask for help and take the journey? And I think what's interesting too is these days, entrepreneurs, you've got so much education, access, resources, people that have paved the way. You can make $1 million faster today than you ever have before, ever. And
So true.
I mean, how cool is that, to be able to use that as a tool to make an impact or create something different, like a legacy for yourself, for your family, for your community. So it almost too is like, what would you call it? Like a sacred right or a sacred gift to be able to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's to me, one thing, becoming an entrepreneur, I'll say this and we'll kind of end on this note. Being an entrepreneur was the best decision I ever made in my entire life. And coaching and mentoring has been the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life. And I have 5 kids. So I'm telling you, helping others
But I'm on California. You're in Florida. We got to figure out how to
Yes,
like zip
we
this together. That's
do.
awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes. Got to meet with you, Rebecca. This is amazing. Thank you so much for meeting with me and talking with me today. I appreciate you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in person. I have written my new book, Real Estate Millionaire Secrets, and I'm giving this book to you absolutely free. Go to noelsfreebook.com and get my new book absolutely free. You just cover the shipping and the handling at noelsfreebook.com. That's Noelle, Noelle with an S, noelsfreebook.com. I have absolutely poured my heart and soul into this book. I have given you templates, checklists, graphs, all different types of things to help make sure that you are successful in real estate. And again, it's absolutely free. I just want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.